Hello Stampers, come on in. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Whether you're returning for another Make It Monday or you're new to my channel, I'm happy that you're here and we're going to have a little bit of time to stamp together. If you are new to my channel, you may be wondering what these 5 cards are that I have laying here. And every month I do a 5-card kit called Just Cards. And they're very pretty cards that really only require a greeting. So if you are long distance, these become a class to go. And everything is die cut and embossed for you, or punched if there's punching. All the embellishments are included. And you just have to put them together and add your own personal greeting. So how do I get this kit, you're wondering? You only have to place a minimum $25 product order on my website, which is addictedstamper.stampinup.net, and use this hostess code. Now, you are certainly welcome to order more than $25 in product, but with that $25 product, you will get the card kits for free. If you are local to me, it is porch pickup. And if you are long distance, I do ask for postage to mail them out to you. And you get the envelopes and, as I said, all of the embellishments, all of the materials that you need to put them together. You, of course, supply the adhesive and then, again, just the stamps, the stamped greetings. Okay? So those are October's cards. If you like those, you want to take advantage of that, that is how you do it. Okay. So today, I have this fun fold for you. I saw this at the home office. It was on one of the Stampin' Up! Posts, not this particular design, and actually theirs went this way, I think, and then opened up a little bit differently. But I thought it looked more like maybe a little booklet. What's going on? A little booklet there. Something was happening there, huh? And then it opens up like this as well. So you have lots of opportunities to decorate and add greetings and images to really step your card up. And of course, there's room here for you then to sign and maybe even write a small message. So this is what I'm going to show you how to make today. It starts out with a full piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. The products that I'm using, in addition to the cardstock, is the greetings from the Christmas to Remember stamp set. Those I used on the inside of the card, right? The friends like you make this season special, and then may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. And then I also used from the hybrid, right? This is the one that has the beautiful hybrid embossing folder with it, but I used the stamp set. Of course, that's where my poinsettia came from, along with the centers, and then A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours, and the little bit of greenery that I added on the inside of the card also comes from the Merriest Moment stamp set. So let's get started. We're going to use some Evening Evergreen, some Cherry Cobbler, and just a hint of Daffodil Delight for the centers of the poinsettia. We're going to start with the card base though. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this in here. This is, again, a full 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. You do not have to worry about the measurements, writing anything down. I will put all the measurements and the supply lists in the description below the video. So all you have to do is check that out down below. So we scored it at 5.5, and now we're scoring it at 4 1/4. Okay. Excuse me. And then we are going to take out one quadrant. So let me open this back up again. So this is going to lay down like this. So this is the quadrant that we're going to remove. Okay. And we're going to do that on the paper cutter as well. I'm going to line up the score line right in the cutting track. Now I do want the cutting blade. And I'm going to push that up to the 4 1/4 score line. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to line this up at the 4 1/4 on this side, which should line me up perfectly in the cutting track. And we'll take that out. And I'll show you a little trick if we're not, oh, that blade definitely needs changed. All right, let me just try to clean that up just a little bit. We're gonna go with that. So these are gonna fold in, and if we are just a little bit too tight, right, for the folds to work the way we want them to, but I think we're gonna be fine. That looks really good. Let me grab my bone folder and we'll give that a really good crease. Or we're going to use the tip of our scissors because my bone folder seems to have, oh, I found it. I was going to say my bone folder seems to have walked away. All right, so we're going to crease this really well on all those score lines. Trying to get some of that fraying that my cutter did. I felt like I just put a new blade on there, so you can clean that up. If you have one of the nail files or the sanding blocks that we used to sell, that's perfect to clean that up, and I will take that over top of this when we're done, just to clean up any excess on those edges. All right, so this is our fold, and it all works beautifully. It lays nice and flat. So we're also using 4 of the sheets from the Tidings and Trimmings Designer Series paper. That, of course, is in the annual catalog. And we're going to opt to put this one on the front. So my suggestion for you, if you're going to make this card, is to find patterns that don't really have an orientation. I love these because they're really not, you could go either direction with these. So we're going to just mount that one there. And then we're going to use the Stitch So Sweetly dies to cut that center out. Okay, and let's see, I think I used this one, but we'll just double check ourselves to make sure. Yep, that is the one I used. I'm going to lay these aside. We're going to open this up. Now my die cutting machine sits right to my left. So instead of bringing it in, shaking the table, and taking up the whole camera space, I'm just going to take it over to the die cutting machine and run this through. I've got this folded underneath, so we don't have any issues with being able to run the whole thing through. And of course, this is the orientation, so we want to try to center it. Actually, let me do that before I go over to the machine, because I have my handy dandy Post-it note tape here. And I'm looking side to side and top to bottom. I love this tape. I used to use washi tape, but every once in a while, especially on designer series paper, it would tear the paper when you tried to peel it off. And then I actually bought this tape to do a technique over on my Facebook page, and fell in love with it for holding the dies in place. So it does double duty, maybe even triple duty sometimes in my studio. All right, so we're going to bring this off. And I still do go gently because it still is a tape that I have on here and I don't want it to tear. But I really haven't had that problem with the Post-it note tape. Not like I did with the washi tape from a time or two. So there we go. There is our card front, all done with our design. And if any of that Post-it note adhesive stays behind, you can literally just rub that off with your finger. Okay. And then I have this piece, which I will definitely use on another project at some point. That tape's really holding there. There we go. Got it. All right, and then I don't throw those pieces away. I put them somewhere close by and handy so that I can use them on another project. Now we're going to work on this front, and we're going to bring in this beautiful pattern. Okay, and I opted not to bring any of the Sahara sand in on this project. I just wanted to stay with the Cherry Cobbler and the Evening Evergreen. I think this is only one of 2 designer papers that we have this year that feature the Cherry Cobbler. And that is a really pretty red for Christmas. Trying to make sure that's even. I did go ahead and cut our rectangles with the stitched So Sweetly dies. So I have the cherry cobbler piece that we're going to mount, and then I have the piece on top. But to ensure that this is mounted exactly where I want it, we're going to go ahead and close this up and just snuggle that down in that opening so we're sure it's aligned perfectly for our card. And we can go ahead and mount this one. Make sure it's all nice and aligned. All right, we're going to go ahead and stamp on this one. A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours. We're using Evening Evergreen for that. And perfectly centered. That doesn't always happen, especially when I'm stamping away from myself, right? All right, and then I did pre-stamp and cut the pieces for the poinsettia. I swore when this came out I was not buying this stamp set. I did get the hybrid embossing folder and dies, but I was not buying the stamp set because we have the poinsettia set that carried over from last year. But this poinsettia is so cute and just takes those two die cuts, right? So yes, I broke down and I bought it after I bought the embossing folder and the dies. So I did not get to take advantage of that 10% discount that we have on our bundles. Don't be me. I know you think you're not going to use it, but you most likely will. All right, so we're going to mount this right here. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to put our centers in. So we're going to be brave. And we're going to try to stamp this while it's sitting up on dimensionals, and it worked just fine. Anybody else ever do that? Try to stamp when you're on dimensionals? You pretty much have a 50-50 shot usually. Sometimes it works okay and sometimes it doesn't. So there's our pretty tag. Now I have some of our foam sheets here. You saw my dimensionals are just about gone. That sheet that I pulled out here to mount the poinsettia is pretty much all I have left of my dimensionals right now. Now my order is coming Thursday, so I'm not too panicked. But I thought, you know, this is a perfect time to bring in the foam sheets. They're 6x6, I think it is, or maybe 4x4. You get 6 of them in the package, so they're very economical. But this is going to make a nice, stable piece of mount for our label, or our tag, or our greeting, whatever you'd like to call it. So I just trimmed it off, so it's going to fit right in the center of that rectangle. And this was a scrap from another project that I did. So I hang on to those scraps, apparently, you know, they're pretty good size in some cases. And then we find opportunities like this to really make sure we have a nice complement of foam to mount our greeting label on. So we're going to center that. I think that's so pretty. Okay, so then this comes up. Of course, there is our piece that we're going to see through the peekaboo window. And now we can work on the 2 inner panels, right? So they look like this. We're going to bring in one of the shaded spruce patterns. Love, love, love shaded spruce, one of my favorite colors. Actually, it's shaded spruce and evening evergreen on that pattern, right? And also, I think some mint macaron are our greens, or maybe soft succulent. Okay, we've already die cut that tag as well. So let's go ahead and stamp that greeting in cherry cobbler. And that is friends are like you, make the season special. And that one I'm probably going to try to do right in the center. We're pretty close to the center. Oops. That doesn't usually happen with red rubber. I'm going to put that out of the way before we lay our hand down in it. Bring our piece back in. Try to center that up as well. And then I did the little greenery already as well. So I've got that stamped in Evening Evergreen and die cut. And then we have one more page. So you can see this doesn't take very long to put together, but it is kind of a big wow card, I think, that will impress the recipient. This would probably go to someone really special because you have all these different pages that you can decorate. I also think this would make an adorable Halloween card. I don't do a lot of Halloween cards. I did make sure my edges are even. Always do that. Then this one's going to go in the center. Okay. And that's how we'll close it up. So let's stamp our greeting for that. May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. This one I'm going to keep closer to the top so we have some room at the bottom to sign. And as I said earlier, perhaps write a small message. We have one more piece of greenery that I stamped and die cut on Whisper White. So we'll add that in here as well. Now, I didn't do dimensionals on the inside of this card because you don't want the extra thickness, right? So we're literally just laying flat all of our tags and our accessories. And that way, this is going to close up very nicely for you and fit in a regular envelope. You can hand deliver this, you can put it in a gift bag, or you can send it through the mail. It might be a little bit overweight, depending upon what all you do include in it. If you don't include some of the embellishments or the heavy foam tape, then you might get away with just a single stamp. But I'm calling it a booklet. I'm not really sure if it has a name, but it just reminds me of a little booklet that you would open up and surprise the recipient with all the different accessorized panels. Okay. Hey guys, I hope you liked that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I would oh so very much appreciate it. And that way you'll also get notified when I load future videos. I will be back next Monday with another Make It Monday. And until then, have a great week. Take care and be safe. Bye.